TIFU by telling my BF that his dad has, quite literally, been inside my hole. Cold been worse. You cold met the son without the family. Asked your perfectly platonic physician if it was okay for you to do anal with your boyfriend, and then wind up having dinner at their place. Then he'd know. Bonus points if you reassured your BF that you talked to your doctor, so he'd know too. Like the old joke about the young man buying condoms, and when he goes over to the girlfriend's house the pharmacist that sold them is the girl's father. As a former UC patient this made me laugh. I didn't have anything like this, but there was a girl in our group I liked, but she deflected my interest. Fast forward a few years, when we both had partners, and she brings up how she was interested, but I was too much of a player. Apparently on nights out I would disappear to go and try and pull girls in the club. Turns out she'd somehow missed the conversations where I mentioned having UC and had mistaken my toilet trips for me trying to hook up with random girls. A former UC patient. Do you have a bag? I think you can just straight up cut out the parts that are inflamed, right? Especially if they are very bad. I have Crohn's, which is like UC's twin sibling. I know you can keep it in remission and have zero symptoms, but fairly sure UC is also a chronic disease like Crohn's. Crohn's is widespread throughout your GI tract. You can have inflammation anywhere from mouth to anus. UC is more limited in that way. It's mostly limited to your large intestine. That's why colitis is in the name, which means resection, cutting it out, is possible, and sometimes even required if they think the risk of cancer has increased significantly. Part we are all missing here is a risk. Say he bangs you in the ear and tears something or whatever and you go to emergency where they call the ear doc on duty and bam, future father-in-law comes in. Hey doctor so and so, well your son fucked my ear. And, well, my god I didn't even think of that possibility. I want to see the conversation with his son. Well Billy, when a man and a woman love each other very much sometimes they decide to have sex, which is completely fine and normal. But could you just take it easy on her back door? I've really been trying to nurse it back to health, and you can't just go in there pounding away. Yeah see Billy, it's called managing tempo and ensuring lubrication. And for the love of God, if something happens, you take her to St. Mary's. I'm not about to fix whatever it is you break in there. And I'm sure as S not doing it with the faint waft of strawberry lube seeping up through my surgical mask. Anal is all about common courtesy, and so is this family dynamic. Remember that Billy, and we'll be fine. So I'm rewatching UGIO, and every single episode there's so much lecturing about trusting in your friends and family regardless of the situation with a slight condescending, preachy tone. So what I'm trying to say is I read this in Pharaoh UG voice and now I want a YouTube series where Yami UG teaches safe sex. Yeah you just need to double down on this now and get a professional note from his father that you can do anal. Honestly though, I don't think there is a possible worse response to that question in your position, so congrats. I mean you cold waited until halfway through the deed and said something like this is nothing like how your dad does it. And that would be worse. But that's about it. The thing your dad puts in here is way longer. Oh come on dude. Lumpheo. Wait you're finished already? It lasts way longer when your dad's in my ass. Apostrophe. SMH. Get out to here man lol. It's too late to turn back now. The only option is to raise it with his father. During a family dinner. While making eye contact with whichever member of the family you expect will be most disturbed by you having done so. If that's an elderly relative and you need to wait for Thanksgiving, it'll be worth it, while uncomfortably shifting and ask in a worried tone so they think you're asking after the fact. And then immediately after saying it, ask someone to pass the butter, then pretend to not know what butter is and pretend to be truly interested at this new food. They will test you to see if you are joking, but you must remain firm that you have in fact never seen or heard of butter before. Thank you for reminding me of that post. I'm dying all over again Mayo. I mean honestly, fucking power move. BF totally missed a chance to yell, guess it's a family affair. And jump right in. Anus last words. You take your upvote and then you get out. Shouldn't be a problem. I've seen what my son is packing. It would have been both soul crushing and hilarious. The only solution I can see here is to have your dad get up in your BF's ass. Does his dad drive a car with Asman as the license plate? Just ask at dinner, hey document. With my condition, is anal safe? Watch your boyfriend turn bright red. Scene filled reference. Take my upvote. 1,000,000 to 1 shot. Document. 1,000,000 to 1. She's got a fine asshole son. A fine one. You treated well now. Thanks, Dad. Pat's head, they grow up so fast. That comment made my day. Thank you XD. I get the most cursed vibe. Like mental horror cursed S from this comment. How did this comment matter? Your day is beyond me. Cursed? I would hazard to guess that the author above was able to make the assumption based on context that the parent comment was intended to be read as a joke. I would also suppose that making their day was hyperbolic. If you have personal reasons to dislike the joke, then I'm sorry, and I hope you find peace, but that emotion doesn't, and shouldn't, apply universally. Long live the joke. May we forever express humor freely. Don't worry mate. All is good. I was also half joking along. You should definitely ask your doctor if it's okay for you to try anal. I read that as a medicine commercial. Side effects may include soreness, embarrassment, and/or discomfort. Ask your doctor if anal is right for you. The imagery of being told that my father has been in my girlfriend's before would haunt me every single moment for the rest of my life. Whenever I thought about her, how nice her looked. If I wanted to try anal, anything, or every time you have anal with your GF, just whisper to yourself, thanks dad. I still would have plowed ahead, shove that knowledge to the deepest darkest corner of my mind, and ride on homie. This is the way. A Mandalorian has entered the comments. Boyfriend, but seriously though, how would you rate the experience with him as a doctor? 2 big thumbs. Way up. Apostrophe. Nice. Nice. Haha. Definitely will, don't worry Mayo. Can't imagine why this is a throwaway. Thanks for sharing. Seems like your boyfriend and his dad will have some awkward encounters for sure. Dad walks into his son sitting on an armchair in front of fire with a shotgun. So dad, we need to talk. He didn't expect sloppy seconds. As long as you don't ask him to play doctor, you should be fine. The doctor will see you now. This is a really funny story. But that being said, do you think it's okay to keep your doctor after becoming personal with him? You said something that stuck with me. I'm not going to ask his dad if it's safe for me to try anal with his son. You should have open communication with your doctor, and I don't think a doctor can provide unbiased, unemotional treatment to someone their son is dating. So maybe it's time to find a new doctor? For your safety and your comfort. Because let's be real. Who wants to ask the doctor who stuck his fingers in your booty a few days ago to pass the potatoes? Historically, many doctors were friendly, or even close buddies with some of their patients. Like the party Mary Shelley had with Lord Byron. That became the impetus for her to write Frankenstein. One of the party goers was Lord Byron's physician John Polidori, who was traveling with him. If you lived in an area not well traveled or small, you'd be more likely to run into a doctor outside his office. So why not be friends? If anything, I think being friendly with your doctor would mean that he could treat you better, because he could observe you when you're healthy. But yeah, that's not a thing you generally hear about anymore. But doctors do have friends. Part of being a good healthcare provider is being objective, which is really hard to do with emotional attachments. Their feelings could influence their medical judgment, resulting in compromised patient care. Another big issue is that when you have a patient that has some sort of connection with their physician, they may not be open with their doctor, which can result in serious issues not being addressed. Of course, in some situations, like developing nations, you may not have the luxury of choosing a doctor you don't have some sort of connection with, but it's not optimal, and in my opinion compromises medical care to varying degrees. Open mouth. Insert both feet. Chew vigorously. Hey, thanks doc. Holy s, way to make an of yourself. Yay. A real crappy move, if I do say so myself. Look. She was in a shitty situation. Alright. Yay. I guess anyone would crack in that situation. She would have had her ass handed to herself if she went further. That's what she get for answering a question no one was asking.